Want to talk about like the different thoughts that you had about the Revenant now that
Yeah, something like that. You know what? Let's just right now. Because all I really have to say about the Revenant, on top of what I said before, because like, I don't have a clear memory about what we talked about, but I think we covered a good chunk though. So what I'll say is this: is that I still kind of feel the same way I did, more comfortable saying it, but I do feel the same way about the Revenant, which is, I think it's not quite. It's just like we said. The ending just doesn't really match up for me. It doesn't quite hit home. It really hit me hard. I think it's not quite an emotional experience as it could have been. Again, I liked kind of like the art film type tendencies that it has. It's like with Leo, no dialogue, breathing into the camera. Like there's a lot of unique stuff that Inaritu does, but like I told you, I don't think I said this in the recording, but I told you just after when we were walking. It's like I feel like Birdman and The Revenant, they were filmed in such ways that I felt like it was a little bit too much of a stunt. Birdman was all about like, oh my god, it all looks like one take, and for me that kind of putting so much emphasis on the way it was shot kind of took away from the viewing experience for me the first time I watched it. It's not the same as like with Hateful Eight and 70mm, where it's like, okay, it's 70mm, now just watch. That's just the way a movie's being exhibited. But with Birdman, I'm conscious the entire time about like, oh wow, how are they doing this kind of thing? You know what I mean? And it's like, but I just didn't feel like that movie the comedy landed as hard. I thought it actually kind of suffered because of the way it was filmed. I thought there was kind of a limit to what they could do. I thought they pulled off a lot of stuff very well with Birdman. But what I'm saying is that like Revenant also kind of felt like a stunt. That it was like, we're going to go out there in the snow, we're going to go out there in the cold, and then we're going to have Leo do all these crazy things, eat raw bison liver and shit like that, and we're going to somehow make a movie out of this. And unfortunately I just don't think the story was strong enough to make me forget about all that, to make me forget about what the stories behind the scenes. But even taking that out of the equation, I just don't think it's a strong movie. I think it's a good movie with a lot of strong moments, and I think it starts out pretty well, but you don't really get to know who Tom Hardy's character is, like beyond just him being an antagonist. You don't really get to understand. You don't really feel the emotional connection between Hugh Glass and his son. You don't. Right? You see flashbacks. Even when you see the flashbacks, like there's just something. I would say like, I don't know. It kept me at arm's length.
And that's funny, right? Because in R2, never mind. I'm thinking of Alfonso Cuarón now. I'm being racist because I know he works with his son, so he's got that relationship going on. But in R2, I was thinking he should be able to.
I mean, he has a
tap
son.
into that. Oh, there you go. Okay, never mind.
He talks about his son in the round table.
Okay, I thought so. I thought I remembered recently hearing that he had a son. So I don't know. That's just kind of surprising because I was thinking that too. That like we're told or we see that he has a son and the son is along for the journey and his son was like badly burned, but because there's not really he doesn't really talk at all in the beginning. Except for whispering to his son.
Yeah, he's not really much of a. Even if the son doesn't really get much characterization, and so I mean, and I don't know if it's just enough that he has a son that you see him. Like there's that moment later on we talk about this too, like the licking the snowflakes, or have them land on tongue. There's just no moments of levity between he and his son, like that he enjoys being with his son.
And if those were there, then you would really be rooting for him that much more to get his revenge. And you're really not like it's enjoyable to watch and it looks great, but it's just like I don't know. You just kind of take it at face value, like oh yeah, he's got to get revenge, but you're not like yeah, you got to stand up, you got to go, get out of there, You're not really, and it's unfair, really, to see The Revenant and then go see The Hateful Eight, and then you're automatically going to put one in the bottom shelf in your brain, Maybe if we just saw The Revenant...
You know what, though? I don't necessarily agree, simply because when I saw Carol and Son of Saul at the AFI Film Festival, they both were great.
Right.
They both were great, and I wouldn't even think about comparing them because they were so different. I do think there are enough things about both Revenant and Hateful Eight that are comparable. They're different styles of filmmaking,
sure.
And they're approached in different ways, but they're still both nihilistic, and yet I think that Tarantino finds a way to make more of a point. I just feel like Revenant, the way it ends, it just doesn't really know what happened. He just looks into the camera, and I've seen that 2 times already now. I've seen that and looking at the camera in Magnolia, or you mentioned looking at the camera in 12 Years a Slave, and I feel like that it's been done once or twice other times. So it wasn't but there wasn't really anything behind that. Just I don't know. It just that moment didn't really land for me. That's the final shot of the film. It was almost like when you look at the camera, I'm like, "Yep, that's the final shot." Okay, of course, that's going to be the final shot, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like what we said before, where it's like he's looking at the camera just to communicate with the audience, that was some journey, wasn't it? The movie's over now. Thanks for coming.
He should have said, "Yeah,
that's all, folks."
Thanks, guys. That's all, folks. It
sucks to knock it because I guess I was expecting it to be just amazing. And I want to. It sucks when you really want to like something and it doesn't deliver all the way. But I just found myself thinking. At first, I thought it was just because we did the double feature thing and the Tarantino movie Hateful Eight. It just took over.
No, I still like doing the double feature, and I still
I do too.
I don't regret seeing The Revenant, and then I you know what I mean. I don't regret.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying originally I was thinking that maybe that's the reason why, but it must just be that it wasn't that strong of a movie, because if it was stronger, then I would be wanting to tell people I saw the Hateful Eight, it was amazing, and I saw The Revenant, and it was also amazing or something, and now it's just I saw the Hateful Eight, and I also saw The Revenant, that was good too.
Yeah. Yeah, the Hateful Eight is, The Revenant is getting pretty solid.
It's getting love from I saw one of the TV spots, just listing some of what the critics are saying, best of the year and all this and that. I'm I just didn't see it, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I can see the praise. I think ultimately I'd probably give it a positive review if I were to review it. I think it would probably end up in the positive.
Sure.
But I mean, there are negatives, and it is kind of disappointing. I mean, when I look back and think about it, I do feel a little bit disappointed. Because I just didn't. I felt like it could have been more than what it was.
Yeah, we could have really hated Tom Hardy. We could have really rooted for Leo to get out of that, just to fight back from that. And you're kind of just like, okay, you're just seeing it all happen.
In a way, Hardy, his character has like almost too much personality that you almost kind of welcome it. You're like, oh, someone's talking. I think if no one's talking and it's just DiCaprio and you're having this experience, like, oh wow. But because you cut back to John Fitzgerald, played by Tom Hardy, and Will Poulter, and John Fitzgerald's kind of a blabbermouth in a way. He's actually pretty talkative compared to Hugh Glass.
Yeah.
You almost kind of compared to a quiet person. When you compare a quiet person to a talkative person who's kind of affable, even though he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
You kind of gravitate towards the affable dick because at least he's talking to you or talking.
Right.
Hugh Glass becomes like almost kind of less interesting by comparison, and like you still don't want him to die or want his son left for dead. You care about him that much at least.
Yeah.
But Tom Hardy just isn't a nasty bitch. He's not nasty enough. He probably should be more restrained. If they want to have it like that. If it wants to be a pure revenge film, maybe it's like they're both kind of after each other, and the movie is a little bit more silent than what it is. Because when I heard that Leo was gonna have a silent performance, I was excited. I'm like, I thought that was really. I was looking forward to that, but it kind of cops out because yes, he's silent, but Tom Hardy isn't. And the movie overall really isn't that silent of a film.
Right.
I mean, I've seen silent films. Okay, no, that's not what I mean. But what I mean is that like, it doesn't. Having seen it, I don't really think it was that much of a challenge to not have DiCaprio talk.
Yeah.
I think there is enough dialogue throughout the movie that you're not like, is anyone going to talk eventually? I think that. I'm trying to think of like a film that actually sticks to that. I thought wasn't there a film that not so long? I mean, I guess I haven't seen All Is Lost with Robert Redford, but
you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see it, but
I saw that pretty recently, actually.
No, I never saw it, and if I told you I saw it, I was lying. So
yeah,
I was lying.
There's not really much talking in that at all. Because who's he going to talk to? He's alone.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, So I don't know. I just I think that's a little bit of a cop out, just because there is plenty of dialogue.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about it being like a silent performance or anything. I just knew that it was a revenge tale, and that's what I was just excited for, was the Hardy versus Leo dynamic, and you don't really get that until the very, very end, and even then it's just like you know how this is going to end.
Yeah, I would say that like when Birdman came out and I wasn't that thrilled about it, like I was still like, but the Revenant, like I was still like, ooh, that's going to be something. Like I was still fully on board with Iñárritu because I keep talking about how I do like his first two films a lot.
Yeah.
But he had a writer. He had Guillermo Arriaga wrote his first three films.
Okay.
And since then, I believe Iñárritu either co-wrote or wrote. Yeah, he pretty much he like co-wrote the rest of his films. And I think Revenant, he took the film from a screenplay, like an adaptation, but he basically rewrote it himself. So that like Revenant is like the most I think Iñárritu has ever contributed to his own screenplay.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not sure he's that great of a writer, to be honest with you. I think he's a fantastic filmmaker, and there's some sequences in Revenant that are pretty excellent. With the 360 camera work, battle scenes. Mm-hmm. You get that shit in there. Like, how is this not a masterpiece? I don't know. How is Birdman not a masterpiece? In my mind, it's not. I don't think the combination of the style and the writing. I think the style itself is like, I could totally be on board with this stylistically, but the story isn't there, and and the characters aren't really there. So that's what kind of separates me from really connecting with the Revenant the way I thought I would, and I'm sad. I'm sad about that. Bummer. I'm bummed.
Bummer, man.
I mean, if Leo wins the Oscar for this movie, I don't know. Let's close that out.
Yeah.
If Leo were to win the Oscar for this movie, first of all, I feel like it's like I almost expect that to happen, because this is the one performance out of the last couple of times he's been nominated and stuff like that where I wouldn't be that thrilled that he won. Like with Wolf of Wall Street, that would have been awesome. If he won for that. Even though I would have given the nod to Chiwetel Ejiofor, still I would still give the nods to him. What was before that? Django Unchained, at least supporting actor. I thought he was fucking great in Django Unchained. But yeah, It Departed and yada yada yada. Inception, I get. Well, not really. But what I'm talking, the Aviator or what have you. But really, The Wolf of Wall Street would have, if he were to win an Oscar, that should have been the movie he won the Oscar for. The Revenant, I don't know. I love Leo, and I'll see all of his movies. Well, I pretty much see all his movies because he usually has a great director behind him.
Yeah.
So usually I want to see a Leo movie. But yeah, I wouldn't be that thrilled if The Revenant, if he won the Best Actor for The Revenant, because it's like, I mean, it's just it would feel more like a career type win. Here it is for your career, and by the way, we appreciate the fact that you ate raw bison liver. Way to go, Leo. You know what I mean? I feel like that kind of a win. And it's like, you know what? If you don't really want to give it to them for this one, don't. Let's wait. I mean, on one hand, I'd say that, but on the other hand, I wonder if he's like, it's like, shit, how far will he go?
Yeah, to get that
to win an Oscar.
statue.
Because I think he wants to win. I think he kind of wants to win one of these things. It kind of seems that way, So, I mean, maybe if he wins, he'll be like, I don't know, will he want to take risks still just because he likes acting? Or will he feel like he can just kind of coast a little bit more? I don't really know what's in his mind, you know what I mean? But maybe in a way it would be good for him to win, so that he doesn't have to eat raw meat anymore. You know what I mean? Or sleep inside carcasses, or whatever the fuck he did for this movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about the prospect? It seems like he probably will win the Oscar for The Revenant. What do you think about that? Do you think his performance really justifies that? I mean, it could just be that it was a really weak year. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm wondering. Who's he going against? Who's his competition? And then he's also got the legacy thing going for him, where he's just gone all this time. He's been, acting since he was a kid, and he's been in some pretty great roles, and done some amazing work. And he hasn't been rewarded for it in this, form. So you could argue that it's a long time coming. I mean, we all know that. So it's hard for me to say. I want to see him win, and I just he's going up against Will Smith, What other performances were,
Fassbender, Matt Damon,
yeah.
Steve Carell.
Right. So if there was, there's no, and this has been the thing that has happened to him over and over again. I guess he paid a couple of guys hey, just don't make a movie this year, because every time that he's had a big year, somebody has had a bigger year. You could argue. So it seems like he's the guy who's just the biggest name doing the biggest thing with this movie, and he's getting a lot of love and respect for it. He's getting props. So, if it's inevitable, then so be it, man. There's no magic in the world.
Yeah, I can understand the inevitable argument. It's just the way. For me, it's just, even if it wasn't a not a great movie, it's just the way this whole thing unfolded. You know what I mean? Because there's been a lot of talk about what he did behind the scenes and the struggle that he went through to do this role, and more so than when you hear Daniel Day-Lewis or we all know the stories behind Daniel Day-Lewis's famous roles and what he made people do. But I don't know, I feel that's kind of Daniel Day-Lewis's territory. You know what I mean? That's his thing. Maybe a couple other method actors, but I feel Leo, I don't know if he's as much method in that manner. But I don't know. It feels like a stunt to me. It just feels, because of the publicity attached to it. It feels like it doesn't feel like he really. I think he wanted to do it the way he did it, but I don't know, because of there's so many news articles about it, and now that it's Oscar season, they're really playing up that aspect. They're really playing up what he did, and I don't know. It just feels it just feels wrong to exploit that kind of acting and say that's the way you act, having no limits and just toughing through it. I don't think it necessarily came across completely in his performance. And I don't think his character is really that strong for me to really be taken in by his performance. Maybe his performance is great and is clouded by the writing. Maybe that's what it is. But I just, man, I don't know. I just wasn't quite on board with the way his character's written. Yeah. And because of that, because it's so thin, because his character's so thin, it just feels here's Leo taking guts out of a horse. Now here's Leo sleeping inside the horse. Now, you know what I mean? It just felt what's he gonna do next? Now he's gonna wear bearskin. Now he's gonna get pounded by a bear. It was just this is gonna happen to Leo. I never felt like it was happening to the character for me. I wasn't sucked in enough. Even every time I felt I was gonna get sucked in, the bear scene is really great on itself, but then there's round 2 of the bear scene, round 3, and they fall into the pit. You're oh, that's gonna hurt. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just, it's a CGI bear, first of all, right? That wasn't a real bear.
It was a great scene, though.
It is a great scene, but if it was a real bear, I would give it to him.
Okay.
Okay, I'm kidding about that. But you know what I mean, though, right?
I do.
It's almost if it was a real bear, I wouldn't have been surprised, because...
Yeah, that's where he's going to get recognition.
So
desperate. Desperate.
What about Fassbender? He had to pretend to be Steve Jobs for 28, 30 days. That's hard. That's hard to do too, right?
Yeah. I guess it's been kind of a year of it's been a disappointing year, right? Because we were really excited for Fassbender to take on Jobs with this Sorkin script, and we're really excited to see Leo in this cold, hard revenge tale. And neither of those films really delivered. And those were the guys that we looked at as the A-list, if you were to make your predictions 6 months ago, just based on what's on paper. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, these are the guys that are going to be nominated at the end of the year.
Right.
And sure enough, they are. But it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of a bummer because the movies aren't what we thought they were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, apart from Leo, I mean, if you were to ask me who was my best actor of the year, you know, I mean, do you go with Matt Damon because he kind of plays that Matt Damon like role, like Matt Damon's kind of Matt Damon, but in Mars, like it's like that like it's like a marquee type role for him. It's like he's the star of the movie, and he perseveres, and you know it's Matt Damon being that Matt Damon, but you enjoy him, and he's funny and he's sarcastic, and it's a well written character, you know. So would that be my favorite favorite male leading performance of the year? Maybe Steve Carell and The Big Short. I don't think we've seen The Big Short yet, but
Not yet.
I thought he did a fantastic job. I thought he was the strong point of the movie. Maybe I'd give it to him, but honestly, the way this year's played out, even like Samuel L. Jackson, The Hateful Eight, maybe I'd give it to him because he's kind of the lead in that movie. And he does a fantastic
he's
job.
The one who's never gotten an Academy Award for Best Actor.
No, he's been nominated once.
Yeah.
One time
That would be something if he was nominated because he is the lead actor.
Yeah, he is, and I think he does a great job. And thinking about it, I think I might tip him. Give him the.
Yeah, I'll go as far as to say that I'd rather see Sam Jackson win than Leo. No offense to Leo, but he's been doing it longer, and he's gotten even less recognition. He's an incredible actor. He needs to get some kind of. Just to be at the Super Bowl and be the MVP at one time during your storied career would be enough of a thank you, I think. Like, people just, like, I don't know, just, that would mean the world to him, I think. And I'm pretty sure Leo would be, like, one of the first giving him a standing ovation. He's just that kind of a guy. I know him, and he's told me
I mean, they acted together in Django Unchained, so...
That's true. Monsieur Candy.
So yeah, I mean,
Leo, if he doesn't win this year, I'm almost sure that he's gonna have other opportunities.
He's 41.
Yeah,
for fuck's sake. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I appreciate the fact that he takes on these roles. It would have been nice if his character was, again, if it was a better character to have such a to have those stunts, but it's like it didn't come across on screen for me. You know what I mean? It's like you hear the stories, like great, but I don't really see that on the screen. I don't really see, when you hear about like what Daniel Day-Lewis did in preparation for like My Left Foot when he won his first Oscar.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you see it on the screen. Like he really fucking looks like he's, struggling. You really get that feeling. Or even then Lewis in like There Will Be Blood or those performances from him, like whatever kind of method he did, you see it. Or fucking even Lincoln, like he looks like Abraham Lincoln, he kind of acts like what I would think of Abraham Lincoln. Like, it was everything I thought Abraham Lincoln might seem like and act like. And honestly, even though he won the Oscar, like a couple of years later, I feel like Lincoln is not that, performance-wise and movie-wise. I feel like Lincoln's kind of like, it made a lot of money. Now it's kind of gone away. Does anyone watch it now? I haven't even seen it since it came out. But I remember just being blown away by his performance, and he won that Oscar. No one questioned it. You know what I mean? I think that's got to be one of the best performances of this decade. I mean, no one questioned him winning the Oscar because he fucking looked like Abraham Lincoln, and there was no doubt about it. He just looked like it, and he acted like it, and it was just like whatever he did to prepare for that role, you see it in every aspect. You can do all the stunts in the world. You can do all these crazy things behind the scenes to like make your character seem, awesome. It's kind of like Tropic Thunder, like Robert Downey Jr.'s character going black. You know what I mean, or something like that, where it's like, that's almost kind of what it feels like to me. That kind of like self-serious actor. When it doesn't translate on screen, that's how it feels like to me. Where it's like, ooh, I'm the serious actor doing a serious role. Give me my Oscar. And it's like, well, unless you deliver, then I'm not quite on board with it, So, and fuck, I mean, it would have been nice to see him win for Wolf of Wall Street because, like, that was just him letting loose with a great character, great cinematic character, having funny moments, having serious moments, having crazy moments, like... He kind of went all over the place with that in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
You saw the full spectrum of Leo in that movie. And I've seen Wolf of Wall Street 3 times.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not an easy movie to sit through, but I have to.
Yeah.
I have to sit through it. I really wish the movie would have came out in a different year because... a different year than like fucking Reconnaissance and, 12 Years a Slave because... If that movie came out this year, we wouldn't be wondering who was going to win this year.
Yeah.
There wouldn't even be a question. It's obviously Leo, but for here, I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same. It's like he's supposed to win at some point, but for this movie, I don't know. I just because what's going to happen, right? 5 years from now, he's going to be in like some amazing. He's going to be in Paul Thomas Anderson's next movie. And it's going to be in 70mm, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be the most mind-blowing performance ever. But then they're like, well, he already won his Oscar. Let's give it to, fucking who knows? Get somebody else, some other guy. And you're like, damn it, yeah. And it's like a Jonah Hill. It's a disappointing Jonah Hill movie. You're like, but Jonah Hill should have won for
it just goes on and
something
on and
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Oscars for you.
This has been a long 10 minutes, huh?
It was like 20. It was like 25 minutes. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just had to say it.
You had to say
Just
it.
had to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, according to my audio recorder, it's been 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And once I cut it down, I'll probably be down to like a normal time, so it wasn't too crazy.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I'll see what we have for the cafe discussion. But
I hope you can use that because that sounded pretty cool. Just like to hear all the the forks hitting plates and stuff and people chatting.
yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do two different endings. All right. All right, Justin. Well, that was a great discussion about Revenant. And now we're going to show you the cafe. Now we're going to play for you the cafe discussion about the Revenant. Or you know what? No, we probably should put that first.
Yeah, because we just kind of said that we don't really like the Revenant. Now we're going to expect people to listen to us talk about the Revenant.
You know what? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe just release the cafe thing as its own thing, like. Maybe record an intro, and then, whatever.
I'll do this really quick. We'll be right back. Coming up next, the Revenant recording from the cafe in Manhattan, New York, back in December 30th, 2015. December 30th, 2015, cafe recording.
Westside Cafe, last Christmas.
And then,
okay.
5... And we're back, and we just talked about the Revenant in the cafe. Now we're going to talk about it in person through Skype, and we just talked about Revenant. So,
God.
I don't know. Well, Justin.
Well,
all this Revenant talk's got me really hungry for some raw, bison. And so I'm going to go eat some bison. Okay. And, but hey, great couple of movies we saw. Together. It was a great experience.
Yeah, sure.
And, what's next on your plate? Like, what do you have to catch up on?
I want to see Carol maybe on Sunday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening to the Todd Haynes' interview on What the Fuck.
Yeah,
podcast.
That was my reservation. I don't want to hear any talk about what he's. I don't want to hear him talking about a movie that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't wait for you to see that because once you get to like 20, 25, like maybe 20, I'll give you 20. Like 20 movies you feel like are like top 10 worthy. Yeah. Let me know. Then we'll try to do
we
that
have to do
episode.
our top 10 for the year. Hopefully in time for like
the Oscars.
Oscar show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna do Golden Globe predictions, but I don't know. It's this Sunday, and
we already talked about the Golden Globe nominations anyway.
Yeah, we talked about them. We can we can text each other, but I don't know if you want to do that. But it'd be fun. I guess it's more fun with the Oscars to predict, and to see who got more right and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Oscars.
Golden Globes.
Golden Globes are just kind of fun to monitor.
Mm-hmm. But in the next episode, I think we'll talk about the Golden Globes,
and then in anticipation of the Oscars, we have to, the Golden Globes, they're kind of related.
Yeah, and then and
is Ricky Gervais hosting again?
Yes, he is.
That's getting kind of stale.
We got Ricky Gervais for the Globes, and then Chris Rock for the Oscars.
Chris Rock is back for the Oscars, huh? That's great.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for. I'm not excited for Ricky Gervais the third time because it's like. Is it the third or the fourth time that he's recorded? Fourth. The fourth fucking time. They need to find somebody else.
I don't think they can.
But it's like, it's not fun. It's not even like shocking anymore. Now, at this point,
what's he going to say? I don't know.
To say something controversial. And when he doesn't, or he's not as, it's just.
What if he just doesn't say anything at all?
Then that would be controversial in its own right.
He's just like, here's Ricky Gervais, and he's like a mime. And he doesn't say a word. That would be amazing.
What network is it going to be on?
NBC? I think NBC always does the Globes. Okay. I think. I was gonna say, yeah.
Could have gotten Colbert or somebody fresh, somebody new. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't think.
Trevor Noah.
Anyway.
So Globes, Oscar nominations will probably be out by the time we do this again. So Globes nominations. If you see Carol, maybe we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
Until then, this has been another episode of The Long Take. I'm Kenneth Guidry.
I'm Justin Moore. Thank you for listening. Have a good night or good day or whatever time you're in right now. Hope it's a good one.
And happy 2016. I'll cut
Just
in the middle of that.
in the middle of that.
Or no, I'll actually include this banter right after.
Perfect.
Just, whatever. All right, Justin.
All right, Kenny.
For myself, I'll say goodbye.
And I'll say goodbye back to you. See you later, Ken.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Here we are in the West Side Restaurant. West Side Cafe? West Side Restaurant. In New York City. And just got out of... Ken is enjoying his Irish coffee at 4 o'clock.
It's true.
No, I'm just kidding. I've got a beer myself.
Actually, it is 4 o'clock.
Cheers.
He doesn't like about that.
That's a little difficult.
You can't really cheer Irish coffee with a beer, but I tried.
All right. So we just saw The Revenant.
The Revenant with Lilo and Stitch. Leo DiCaprio and
Tom Hardy. And Domhnall Gleeson, who I forgot was even in it.
Yeah.
It's like I was so excited to just see Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy go back and forth, which there isn't a whole lot of, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's a cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, so
he's trying to really say that.
He's trying to get back to him so that he can give him his comeuppance. But no.
Yeah, they're kind of at each other's throats.
They're together in the beginning, and then they have like their own separate stories going on. Both interesting. Tom Hardy trying to cover up what he did.
Yeah.
Leo trying to come back from what happened to him.
It's a very simple tale.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to it. Just leaves you with those characters to kind of spend time with them. Spend a lot of time, 2.5 hours, with them through probably the worst days of their lives.
I don't know. I feel like every day doing fur trading.
Yeah, that's probably pretty shitty all around.
Skinning animals,
But imagine, like, he gets attacked by a bear, He can't talk. He's got his throat slit by this fucking
Yeah,
bear.
that was pretty intense.
The attack, the bear attack, is one of the best sequences I've seen in a long time.
Yeah?
Yeah, just like the continuous shot. You know, it's right up in Yoritu's alley to have like that one shot where you're just there. It's like you're there watching it happen in front of you, which is makes you kind of, you know, it's just wow. I don't know. I was kind of blown away by that. And I heard one person say as we were leaving the theater, like the bear attack, like that's the reason that everybody came to see this, which I'm not so sure is true, but it's definitely one
That's
of
what gets people to go to the theaters to see this movie.
yeah. Not the names on the bill.
Yeah, not Leo, not anything like that. A lot of people were getting up and going to the bathroom and seemed kind of antsy during this movie.
Do you think that's what it was? It was the movie? It was like, I guess now's a good time to go.
Well, like, that many people going to the bathroom?
More than I've ever seen before. People getting... I even said to you during the movie.
Like, we've seen, like, when we saw Wolf of Wall Street a few years ago, we saw people get up and just leave.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of people. Not that many, though. Nobody, like, really going up to go to the bathroom and coming back. This one, it felt like they didn't want to, like, disappoint their party. Like, I feel like it was, like, one person be like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, you know, much love to Star Wars and everything, but like that kind of like pacing compared to the pacing of the Revenant, which I think was fine. It didn't feel like 2.5 hours to me.
I wouldn't call it slow.
No,
not at all. Even though it's long, it feels long, but
I
not
slow. I wouldn't even call it deliberate. Like you know, where it's like okay, it's gonna be kind of slow, but there's enough in it to keep me hooked. It's not even. I don't even feel like it was deliberate, you know?
Right.
Like it was taking its time. I feel like there was a lot going on here, even though it was a simply told story. I mean, a lot of carnage, a lot of blood and violence and
arrows through the face.
One could argue that there's so much in the first like 2/3, you know, 3/4 that by the time we get to the big climactic finale between Hardy and DiCaprio, that kind of comes up a little bit short just because we were so accustomed to seeing these two guys like in their own kind of universe. Mostly Leo kind of being clawed at, and only Leo being clawed out and just getting torn to shreds. You know, a lot of violence in the first 3/4. That was a very like not as violent, but still kind of chopping of body parts, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
At first you're like, oh, but it was at that point it didn't feel a bit excessive as far as like keeping you in tune to the story, because I feel like at that point I was like, oh, there goes another body part. You know, I didn't feel
kind of checking out.
Yeah, I did feel a sense of that. What about you?
I thought that last shot especially, where like the last encounter between Gleason and Hardy, when he comes out from outside that rock, it really had the feel of like an old school western, you know. And it seems like this could be a story that could have been told many years ago, not with like the same technical ambition with the camera work, but it's a very classic revenge tale, which I appreciated. And, you know, it was a simple story, but we got to see an actor that a lot of people are excited to see on screen really just own the scenes that he was in. And like I think we touched on this before, even though there's not a whole lot of speaking for a majority of the picture, like after he's attacked and after he's left for dead, he's not speaking much, but it doesn't feel silent because there's so much going on. He's doing something, you're so into what he's doing that I don't know, the movie did a good job of it almost felt like with Castaway or movies like that where actors are alone. Yeah. You know, there are other people that come and go, but for the most part he's on his own.
I would compare it more to The Deer Hunter, because there's more of a battle to it, you know. It's not just him alone, it's him having to, like, you know, it's a constant, it's very physical, the survival, it's very, like, you know, getting himself into another, like, damning situation, broken bones and just all kinds of, I don't know, Robert De Niro broke any bones, but he, you know, getting trapped in, like, you know, Vietnamese camp, kind of, and then, like, you know, trying to swim in the mud and just, like, that kind of griminess of...
Man, I totally forgot, like, the last part of Deer Hunter, because
that's like that deer, that's the...
I know that they used to go on the deer hunts when they were growing up in Pittsburgh, And then, like, a lot of the movie is taking place in Pittsburgh, and then there's the famous Russian roulette scene.
Yeah.
And then is there like a survival aspect to it where he's out in the woods?
Yeah.
I forgot all about that part. After that, all I remember is him finding what's his name? What's
really strong.
I can smell it. That Irish coffee. Jesus. What's the actor's name that he's trying to save at the end? Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Duh. That's where it ends. Not to change movies up too bad.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like in that sense, I feel like The Revenant is kind of like the deer hunter in the snow. That's what it turns into with that final sequence. Only more violent.
So it could be called Elk Hunter.
Although the deer hunter has spends a lot of time with building those characters. You see them. Going to that wedding, that Polish wedding, and it's kind of there's camaraderie.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like it would have been more interesting if Hardy and DiCaprio didn't hate each other the entire time.
That would have added a nice dynamic to it, but then would he have left him for dead though?
Maybe.
It
establishes people as kind of hard living.
Right, like you do what you got to do to survive. If he really thinks that he's going to die out here, and then that's kind of like why I was a little bothered. Thank you. That looks good. Yeah, so, like here we have Hardy again playing like this. I don't give a shit. I'm just a badass. I'm going to do whatever I want. I don't care about human life. He's done that before. If he played a good guy, I'm gonna put a little salt in these. Who's like who did a bad thing. I might have added a different element to it. I'm actually curious to see or to know what that would have been like.
Yeah, instead of it kind of felt like Hardy was obviously bad, or at least that's how the story portrays him.
Yeah.
And Leo is obviously good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just the good taking out the bad. But then you come to find that revenge is pointless. So,
long story short, that's it.
Long story short, Leo's out for revenge, but then he finds out after he does his revenge that it's pointless. So, there you have it. I mean, without $1, where that's the story.
Yeah, because he lets go. He doesn't even kill him. He doesn't get his revenge.
Yeah.
He lets him go.
I mean, I think that would have meant more if it was a pure revenge tale. I feel like letting him go, if we knew a little bit more about his character, that would have meant more. But because we're so fixated on his revenge, him letting it go, we're like, well, what does that really mean to him that he lets it go? Other than, some Native American told him that once. So that was like, what was that like? God. God's hands, revenge is in God's hands. Revenge being God. And like, are you really letting revenge be in God's hands? To be like, here, you kill him.
Right.
Is that really?
Not really. So yeah, that would have been interesting if you just said, you know what, I'm just gonna leave you. It's like you've got a stab wound in the stomach. You're missing a couple fingers. Good luck getting to Texas now. I'm gonna go my own way. That part where he escapes in the water and then goes down the waterfalls, like the camera work was so good there. Like you're right there hiding with them, and you look up, and I don't know. It almost felt like virtual reality or something. Like you're looking around at this world that he's in.
Which a fresh spin on something we've seen so many times. We're going down a waterfall.
Yeah. And I was expecting to see that because you've seen that in so many movies. You go down one waterfall, then it gets a little bigger, and then there's the big drop. You're not enjoying that at all, are you?
It's so.
Can I try it?
Yeah. You tell me if I'm just being weak.
It's pretty strong, but it doesn't bother me.
Okay. And it's been a while since I've had a whiskey. I was trying to impress you. And now
You failed.
I failed miserably.
You can have some of the beer if you're not enjoying them.
You're not enjoying it?
I am, but you can sip on that.
Okay, I'll take my... You know, after watching Leo do what he did, I feel like this is not too bad.
Yeah. I think I might get one of those for myself. Maybe a little dessert or something. So, but yeah, I was like, okay, where's the big waterfall? And it didn't do that. So that's nice.
It would have been nice if we fell off the waterfall, fell down the waterfall, landed, and then another bear attack.
It was a cub. He's like a little older. He's like, you killed my mother.
And then, the very end, like this is at the very end. So he doesn't get his revenge. He doesn't get his revenge. He winds up going down that stream.
Yeah.
Down to the waterfall. Falls in the water. It's no longer snow. He's on the ground. He gets up, and then Sandra Bullock from Gravity's there, and she says, "You think you had it rough? No. I was just up in space, and then I traveled back in time to the 1820s." Suck on that.
I was just thinking that. Wonder what it would have felt like if he died at the end. Because it almost seemed like that would have been an appropriate ending for him to just let go. His wife is dead. His son is dead. He did what he wanted to do. Kind of like with Gladiator. You know, he got his revenge. Now he can die.
Yeah, I feel like him staring at the camera was just kind of like not really knowing, wanting to end it on a hard note.
Yeah, but not quite knowing where to go with it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have a problem with that, but it didn't affect me.
Oh my god. He's aware of me.
It's like, he just stared at us and he's like, gonna start nodding and be like, right? Right? Hard, right?
What is the history? What is the history between Hardy and DiCaprio? I like, at the very end, it's really just like, you killed my boy. You know, which is it's enough to want to, you know, take your
That's the only thing that he's holding it on, but he also left him for dead.
Yeah.
Abandoned him in the woods. Mm-hmm. And he was just pissing and moaning the entire movie. Mm-hmm. He was just not a likable character at all.
Which one, Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's shitting on everything. Mm-hmm. You don't know that person.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, this Irish whiskey's made body temperature rise like 50 degrees.
You like coleslaw?
No, I'm not a fan. You like some?
No, I don't. I was going to offer mine to you.
I was going to offer mine to you. After you asked that question. So I was like, wait, do you like coleslaw? This would be great if you like coleslaw. But now it seems like we're at an impasse. A coleslaw.
Let's just forget this conversation ever happened.
It's impossible.
So, overall, I'm feeling positive about the movie.
I did like it. I liked it more than Birdman.
Well, you don't like Birdman at all, so... You're not really saying much.
I liked it more than shit. No, I did like it. I feel like there were several times when I really was in awe of what was taking place, because I feel like the combination of camera work and there's a intimate yet epic feeling. It was a combination of intimate and epic, which I thought was interesting. You know, because it didn't really feel, it felt like there were some scenes like the slow push into like the wispy clouds, you know, and, you know, him breathing into the camera.
Yeah, the fogging up of the lens. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah. So it almost felt like a $100 million art film in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Just Inarritu's version, you know, Inarritu's art film, which is just lots of suffering. Is it suffering for the sake of suffering? That's the thing. It's like, what is this movie? What is this movie about beyond revenge? Not much. So when you
maybe honor, keeping the memory of his son. I mean, he lays down with his son's frozen corpse, and it's like, God, I can't imagine someone that I love and then having to live with that. Knowing that I watched him die, I know who did it, and he's just going to get away with it.
Yeah.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to heal from these injuries. That Indian got listen to me. That Pawnee fella. We never learned his name, I guess, but the guy who saved him, he got a raw deal.
Kind of did, yeah.
And then the sign in French, what did it say? Something about savage?
Yeah, something Susie Savage or something like that. But, on the right side, where they killed the Pawnee tribe, that's where Parks and Recreation was set. So.
I was thinking about Pawnee Indians.
I wonder if Iñárritu was at all aware. I mean, maybe it's based on that movie's based on a book. So that's actually the book.
I would be interested to see shots of that movie with the theme music from Parks and Rec. Bear attack.
You got Aziz. He's sad because his iPad won't work. My Wi-Fi.
You can't charge. Can't get any network.
Oh my God! You get a network. Yeah.
Yep. So, sitting here in the cafe, a couple blocks away from the movie theater, where we're going to sit down and watch the roadshow presentation of The Hateful Eight, or just Hateful Eight.
It's The Hateful Eight.
The Hateful Eight. And I'm finding myself getting really excited for this movie. I've never really had a bad time watching a Tarantino movie. Django I didn't love so much, so I'm wondering...
You enjoyed watching it, though.
Yeah. But at certain points I kind of rolled my eyes with Django. I'm curious to see what the racial aspect of this movie is going to be, because I've heard that there's some like Tarantino's take on kids being shot by cops. And how is that going to fit in with Sam Jackson's character being the only black guy in this period piece?
I mean, there's definitely a lot of opportunities to explore those areas. You know, post-Civil War kind of time. So I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't say I rolled my eyes at Django Unchained, but I didn't love it either. But there was some. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Was it like Quentin's cameo, that kind of thing?
That doesn't bother me at all, actually. I kind of like that. He's gotten better. A lot better than, I know how good a fucking copy is, alright? He actually donned like what was it, like an Irish accent or something like that, Australian? But, just some of the visual aspects of like the carnage, like in Kill Bill, when they have that black and white scene and the blood is, water. It's for a reason, and I think with Django Unchained, like just blood splattering more so than you saw in Inglourious Basterds, even though that was a really violent movie. You got people getting shot up in the theater and stuff, but it wasn't like splashing around. And I just thought it was just like there's no point. It's just like violent for violence sake, gore for gore's sake. So I'm just a little curious about why he felt that was necessary. And I got we're talking about slavery. Slavery is violent and gory.
It is.
But I think that the dog attack in that movie was a lot more powerful than seeing a bunch of blood splatter around.
Well, I would agree, but I would say that it's still his aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like his approach. Like he makes you think about every gunshot that's hit, every bullet that's pierced.
Mm-hmm.
He makes you think about every. That's why, like, when you talk about like, oh, is it irresponsible for him to make violent films? Like, he makes you think about the violence to the point where we're like, whoa, or like for like you roll your eyes. Maybe you're supposed to roll your eyes.
Yeah.
You know,
I think. I don't know. I know that some people go to the movies just to see that shit. You know, like when we left the theater. Like this one guy's random person was just like, man, that Tarantino sure knows how to make a movie, huh? And it's like, I don't know, like, did you...
He does.
I know he does, but...
I feel like the answer is yes. He sure does. I really liked it when the blood splattered.
Yeah.
You didn't say that.
Not quite.
I particularly liked it when the blood. I like blood. I hope no one here is listening to me and judging me by saying that. That's what I would say. If you were behind me.
He said it to us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't say that. Did you say that? You
think I did.
Let's
Like a random person.
Let's rewind the tape. Alright.
This random person said to us.
Huh?
Directly.
What'd he say?
You're so attentive this time. My
Did you forget when you rolled back the tape how attentive I was?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. If you rolled back the tape, how do I know that we had tape to roll back? I don't know.
What's with this last fry? That's a long one.
Alright. French fries, had chicken parm. First good chicken parm I've had since I moved.
They can't do chicken parm in California?
They can't do it. They don't know how to do it. They're confused. Sometimes you don't even see it on the menu. And you're like, hey, where's the chicken parm? And they're like, it's a Chinese restaurant. And I'm like, oh, I'm mistaken. The joke. This is our first time sitting together. This is a really odd experience. Kind of doing this
I thought we were going to say sweet.
face. This is sweet.
Yeah, this is the first time that we're talking in person for the old podcast. The long take. I think I like it better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's table this. Maybe we'll have more to say about the Revenant after Hateful Eight. It would be interesting to compare the two. Unfairly.
Yeah, right. They're totally different, but yeah.
They're both snow westerns, kind of.
So we're going to see a lot of snow in this one. But yeah, I can't wait to see some of these shots that I've heard so much about, like the depth because of the 70 millimeter inside. Just a lot of the stuff that's going on in the background, the depth of the different shots.
Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully the projector doesn't burn down.
Hopefully these projectionists have been properly trained.
I hope so.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll pick this back up after the 3-hour roadshow presentation of The Hateful Eight. We'll talk to you later.
Bye. I just feel like we have to do the whole